Hi, thanks for tuning into my video. Today we are going to be making this amazing baked mac and cheese. I always get plenty of compliments whether I'm serving it to my family or different group events. And I'm sure if you make this mac and cheese, you will too. You're gonna love it. So I usually start by boiling the water for the noodles. Sometimes I season it. This time I did. You can season it however you want, and I always make sure I put a little bit of oil in it so that way when I put the noodles in, they're not sticking when they're cooking. While that's boiling, I'm also starting my cheese sauce. So I put about 2 tablespoons of butter and about 2 tablespoons of flour. So now that my water has finally come to a boil, I'm adding in those noodles. And I'm going to let it boil, as I said on the box, to al dente, 7 minutes. So for the cheese sauce, I'm going to add 1 cup of broth. You can use chicken broth or you can use vegetable broth, whichever you prefer. It all comes out really good either way. Next, I'm gonna add in about 2/3 cup of the carnation milk. Here I am going to add in 2/3 cup of half and half. You can also use heavy cream, whichever you prefer. Honestly, with mac and cheese, you can mix it up. I'm gonna throw in 2 eggs. I like to save the eggs for last, so that way it doesn't cook too much while it is on the pan. I'd rather it cook while it's being baked in the oven. So while I am doing all of this, my pan is on a low heat because I don't want it to really come to a simmer. I just want it to just kind of warm everything up, blend everything together. So before I put in the eggs, I'm gonna add about half a cup of the whipped cream cheese. And then I'm gonna just use my whisk to mix it all together, break it all up in the sauce. So I whisk the sauce frequently so that way all of the flour that I put inside of it doesn't get stuck to the bottom of the pan. I want it to be mixed in there well. So now that I'm mixing in the eggs, my sauce is pretty much done. Usually I'll add some cheese in when I mix it all together in the pan. So here I am just draining all of the water from the noodles. One last mix before I take it off the heat. Whatever you are baking your mac and cheese in, I recommend that you butter the pan, whether it's glass or if it's foil. So now for the good part, we are mixing all of these ingredients in. Gonna put in the pasta first, then I'm gonna throw in the sauce. Make sure all of that sauce is in there, of course. And then before I mix it up, I like to add in my 4-cheese Mexican cheese. That's like my favorite. So this cheese and also the cheddar cheese are my go-to stagnant cheese that I always use every time I make it. Even when I do mix a different type of cheese in, I always make sure I use these 2 cheeses every time. So usually when I'm mixing my cheese into the pasta, I like to put more of the Mexican cheese inside of the pasta. I will go ahead and put a little bit of the cheddar cheese inside of it, but I usually like to save that for the top coat of my mac and cheese. Now for the top of the mac and cheese, which is the best part, threw on some cheddar cheese. This time I added a chef's blend cheese, which I don't usually use, but it was pretty good. It had Gouda and a few other different cheeses in it as well. And then I also put in a little bit of the Mexican cheese on the top. So I also like to throw breadcrumbs on top of my mac and cheese, and everyone loves this. It's so good. And then I also like to put a little bit of paprika. And now we're gonna pop this in the oven and let it bake at 350 degrees for 30 to 35 minutes. And guys, look at this. So good. You guys are gonna love it. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.